high-profile South Africans issuing inflammatory slurs across social media platforms. There have been rallying calls for punitive action to be taken against these individuals, the apex of the outrage being a push to criminalise racism. With me now in studio is Janine Hills, CEO of Vuma Reputation Management. Janine, very good afternoon to you. Thank you for coming in.
Absolute pleasure.
Well, when it comes to social media, it's clear that one's reputation is almost out of your hands because it is on that social platform. But if it's not managed properly, you experience these extreme consequences. So with the example of what we've seen lately, these implications are so far-reaching. Unpack this for us a bit.
Well, I think, Natasha, there's a couple of things. I think what you say as a person is what you're going to put in print.
Yeah.
I think we've all got to start learning about our personal reputations as well as the corporate reputation. So every action that you have and every action you make has a repercussion. And I think that's the essence of what, as society, we've all got to start understanding ourselves. And I've had to go through my own personal journey on this. And social media has really escalated over the last, certainly the last 5 years. But Natasha, these are tools that we've got to learn. If you're going to use a tool, you've got to learn to understand the rules of engagement on that tool. So let's give an example. If you engage in a coffee session or a dinner session, you know how you behave in certain arenas. Well, if you're going to launch into Twitter and launch into Facebook, well then understand the rules of engagement, but understand the repercussions of what you're going to do.
Yeah. So that relates then to managing your brand.
Correct.
Which means managing the risks that could affect your brand and making sure that things like that don't happen.
Absolutely. Yes.
But it's almost as if people aren't aware that their life translates, like you said, when you say something around the dinner table, you will likely end up saying that on a public platform.
You know, we're definitely starting to see a couple of anomalies. I have to be very honest. I think the Sparrow situation and a couple of situations over the last 3 or 4 years has definitely showed that there's an anomaly that comes in where another person comes into the persona. And I think we need to be very careful that when people live on these social media platforms, a persona kind of starts evolving. And one needs to be very cautious of that. Now, I'm not saying that is the case with Sparrow, because I don't know, and I'm certainly not close to the situation at all. All we need to be careful of it as ourselves. You work for the SABC. I work for a company called Vuma Reputation Management. I need to make sure I manage my personal reputation to do my staff proud, number one, and to do my clients proud. So I have to make sure I manage what I say, when I say it, and when I choose to engage on what platforms and when. If I want to engage in a conversation, make very sure that I come in at the right time in an engagement, in a debate, online, or even in a conversation. It's like if you have a dinner party. I'm not coming in at the end of a conversation when most of the discussion is taken. I come in when I actually know what I'm talking about, so I can be part of the engagement. Make sure that you are you are an expert if you're going to make a statement.
But then that engagement, because social media empowers people to have a voice, to have an opinion, to give something to an argument. And it's difficult for people these days, or a brand these days, not to be on some sort of social media platform. But how do you manage it if something does go wrong?
So we have been dealing with quite a few very sensitive cases over certainly the last 4 years. And that's where these anomalies are starting to come through. And what we have found is it's part of education. So the first thing we step in is to educate. So we sit down with the individual, unpack the rationale behind it. So why on earth did you react that way? Explain the situation. What was the rationale? What was your thinking? And you know what the strangest thing is? 99.9% of the time, I wasn't thinking. I didn't think it through. I don't know why I reacted that way. And I think that's what's got to stop.
It's like a lapse in judgment.
Exactly. We've got to stop that. So almost I say, as of today, as your own personal education starts, stop those reckless behavior situations. If you're going to say something that's going to hurt another human being, don't do it. Think the process through and think the journey through.
All right. Janine, we have to leave it there. We've run out of time and we have to cross back to Rustenburg. The President is walking in to start officiating the celebrations in Rustenburg.